Welcome to another week of NEAFL Eastern Footy Talk. I'm Greg Thomson. Another spectacular weekend of local footy action. We had Eastlake and Ainslie return to form, and of course a great game by Queanbeyan and the league leaders, showing Sydney Uni how it's done. Let's get straight into it and go around the grounds. The AFL curtain raiser at Manuka Oval saw Eastlake end the UWS Giants' two-game winning streak. A best-on-ground performance by Aaron Bruce steered the side to victory. He kicked 7 for the day, while ex-Carlton players Satanta O'Halpin and Nicholas Hayes booted 3 each for the UWS. Eastlake 15-13 103, the Giants 13-7 85. Sydney travelled to Darwin to meet the powerhouse that is NT Thunder. The cross-conference clash was entertaining. The Swans reserves out in front at three-quarter time, but they couldn't seal the deal. NT kicking 7 goals to 1 in the final quarter to go on and win 16-16 112 to 12-18 90. Queanbeyan flew out of the blocks against Sydney Uni. James Kavanagh, Ben Klemke and Andrew Swan, some of the stars. But a second-half fight-back reduced the margin slightly anyway. Peter Dugmore's 5 making it 20-15 135 to 5-7 55 to the Tigers. Tuggeranong put up a fight against the Sydney Hills Eagles at Greenway. The joint ladder leaders outplayed the Hawks in the second. The Hawks going down 14-12 96 to Sydney Hills Eagles 19-22 136. And a game-high 5 goals to Belconnen's Shane Harris wasn't enough to sink the reigning premiers Ainslie. In a tough battle, the Tricolours took home the points. The Magpies going down 13-7 85, Ainslie 12-19 91. Some very big results there at the weekend in round 6 action of the North East Australian Football League. Well, joining us this week is an absolute star of the competition so far, kicking 10 goals a game. He's from Eastlake. His name is Aaron Bruce. Aaron, welcome to NEAFL Footy Talk.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, it's good to be here tonight.
A very nice start from you, but most importantly, the whole team as well.
Yeah, it was good to get back on the winner's circle this week, and it's always nice to be winning games rather than losing it.
UWS Giants, 2 in a row, going for 3, but you ended their nice run very smoothly.
Yeah, it was good to, like I said, get the win, but it was a pretty tough game all day, and playing nice and early, which is a bit different for us. It was pretty wet early on, so it was just a tough battle all day.
Yeah, 9:30 a.m. start for the Eastlake UWS Giants game, and as you can see on screen now, some vision of that clash. It was tight pretty early, but then your good self, I know you don't want to pump up your tyres too much, but 7 goals up forward is a brilliant result. Yeah,
it's always nice when they go through in the middle and rather than missing, which we've done a fair bit of as well. So, it's good to just finish off the teamwork and the guys further up the ground who are getting the ball down for you.
And of course, it was a big day for you personally with your family. Of course, your brother Josh debuting for GWS in the game after yours. That would have been a nice occasion for your family.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It's not every day that someone in your family makes their AFL debut, and for him to kick the first goal of the game was just the cherry on top, and it was absolutely brilliant. Very special moment. And of course, Eastlake, well, you're looking good at this point in time, and we caught up with one of your colleagues, teammates, Mitch Frail, to get his thoughts about the season so far.
The new coach is coming this year. I think all the boys have really sort of bought into what they're trying to do with the team and with the game plan, and it sort of started to show on the weekend. Once we put that structure together, we sort of came out with a win, which is nice.
Yeah, Mitch Frail, there's some very interesting comments about the Eastlake Footy Club at this point in time. And Aaron, he made mention of Anthony Burke, the new coach at Eastlake. He is bringing a lot of new ideas, isn't he? And they're working so far. Yeah,
absolutely. He's obviously a different coach to Arch last year, and he brings a totally different dynamic to the group. And between him and Guy Cannon, they've got some really good ideas about how we should play our footy, and they seem to be working reasonably well so far. So.
Well, Queanbeyan continue their charge in the competition so far with a dominating display over Sydney Uni. They are on top with the Sydney Hills Eagles. Aaron, if I can bring you in, you've played Queanbeyan. The boys at Tigerland were too good for you. What do you make of them? And, they're still going along very nicely at this point of proceedings.
Yeah, absolutely. They've only dropped the one game, and, they got the win over us out at Queanbeyan, and they've got some really good players who are all in form at the moment. So it's good for Queanbeyan, obviously having been a bit lower on the table last year, so it's good to see the teams kind of cycling through and getting back up towards the top. Well,
NEAFL Eastern Footy Talk caught up with player coach Kay Klemke from the Tigers, and we also had a chat with Roger Moten and one of their star players from Sydney Uni after the game.
Yeah, I think that's a luxury this year that we've got some tall boys down there. We're not just relying on a Kavanagh. We've got Ben Klemke and Quady. So I think with our forward line, we've got a pretty playing attack at the moment. It's just getting them down to those guys. And I guess teams are identifying that at the moment and just trying to drop numbers in front of those guys. So,
it's not. It's frustrating as a coach. No one wants to lose, and you know we again obviously face that on a long trip home. But at the end of the day, our second half is a level of improvement that we feel is our minimum that we need to see every week. So.
First 2 quarters, yeah, they really showed put the bar up there and really showed us what level of footy you have to play to be competitive in this game. We got a bit of a rev up at half time and come out and at least we're competitive in the third quarter.
Winners are grinners over at Queanbeyan. And well, as we saw earlier in the piece, Belconnen put up a pretty good fight against Ainsley at Manuka Oval last Sunday afternoon. They're still optimistic they can make the top 5, and NEAFL Eastern Footy Talk caught up with one of their players and GM, Cameron Campbell.
Ripper game, pretty disappointing to get done by 7 points in the end, but I think our boys showed a lot of courage and to come back, fight back for the entire game against a good side. Very promising signs.
That is the first of 2 cross-conference games being held this weekend. Belconnen taking on Morningside. The other one is Redlands from the Northern Conference coming down to Tuggeranong. And Aaron, you know the coach quite well. Greg, tell us about him.
Yeah, so Greg was at Eastlake for a couple of years, up until about 2009. You know, he's moved up to Queensland with family, and he's got the Redland boys going pretty well up there, and they're sitting kind of mid-table in the Northern Conference.
Well, I caught up with Greg earlier to get his thoughts about the team's trip to the nation's capital. Greg, a cross-conference clash coming down to the ACT. How's things up in the Northern Conference? 2012 going all right?
Look, it's been a pretty good year for us so far this year. We stand, 2 wins, a draw, 2 losses out of 5 matches, so we're in probably a good position coming into the next kind of block of games. So, yeah, we're going okay. I'm looking forward to coming down to Canberra. I think these are great for us to come down, or the other guys to come up. So we're looking forward to get down there and playing a side which is different to normal side and different kind of style of play and different environment. So, yeah, really looking forward to it.
Mate, it's going to be chilly down here in Canberra, 0 to 15 degrees, we understand. A bit frosty to start off with. How are your boys from southeast Queensland going to handle the different climate?
Yeah, I had a quick look at that. What is it? It's going to be 0 and 15. Wow. The only good thing is at least we play at the best time of the day is about nearly 12 o'clock. So hopefully I don't mind it being cold, but it's just that Arctic breeze that licks off the snowy mountains that come straight through the valley. That could be a problem. I don't think we've experienced that yet. We didn't experience that last year. So, look, it's not the cold that's going to worry. It's that breeze. And even when I used to play footy down there, just getting down to Arctic Park and getting that breeze and just go, oh, no, I don't want to be down here. So hopefully we play at a good time of day and we don't get that. So, look, I'm sure the boys will just, they'll just enjoy being somewhere different. It'll be good.
Thanks, Greg. Best of luck this weekend, mate. Can't wait to see you in Tuggeranong.
Yeah, great stuff. Cheers.
Redlands coach Greg Seaton-Lonsdale there, and of course the climate's going to be a big one. I mean, it's a sneaky 26 degrees and humid up there in southeast Queensland. Here it's going to be 0 to 15. As I mentioned to him, Aaron, is it a big deal, the cold, but the Queenslanders may struggle?
Yeah, I think it definitely will be a factor in the game. We went up there 2 weeks ago and it was 28 degrees and 90% humidity, so it's definitely a shock to the system, you know, particularly when you're training in minus some nights on the track. So yeah, it should affect them a little bit, so it should be good for Tuggeranong.
All right, Tuggeranong might have the early heads up for that clash. We will take a break and take a look at all the round 7 NEAFL Eastern action right after this.
Get behind your team. For match details, head to neafl.com.au.
All right, round 7 of the North East Australian Football League looks a little something like this. Starting off with the Foxtel Cup. As you can see, it's the Sydney Hills Eagles, the Eastern Conference side, taking on the Northern Conference team, Mount Gravatt, 11:05 a.m. at the SCG. In the nation's capital, Tuggeranong and Redland, as we saw earlier, Greenway at 11:45 a.m. on Saturday. The same time slot for Belconnen and Morningside, that game at Manuka Oval. Midday Saturday, Sydney Uni and the Sydney Swans reserves at Blacktown. And then on Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. at Ainsley Oval, it's the Tricolours taking on your mob, Aaron, Eastlake. That will be an absolute screamer, I would have thought. How are you going to beat Ainsley?
Yeah, look, it's going to be tough. You're not dual kind of premiers for the last 2 years for nothing, and they're always hard to beat at home. So, we'll be doing our homework and really going over there to try and get the win. Because it's been a long time, and you really want to win these games early to shore it up for the end of the season.
Played them 3 times last year, didn't win any of them.
Yeah, look, it was they had the wood over us last year. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But we've got Berkey across, to give us some insight into how they play and some of their players. So that'll only help us this weekend, and I'm sure it's going to be a good game.
Brilliant. All right, the buys, Queanbeyan, UWS Giants and the Hills Eagles, obviously because of the Foxtel Cup. And the North East Australian Football League Eastern Conference is thanking umpires this weekend for the thankless job that they do. It is the toughest gig in sport. Do not worry about that. Aaron agrees with me, and the AFL is, of course, doing it right across the country. So do not give them any grief. They do a fantastic job, and best of luck to all the umpires out there this weekend, not only in the NEAFL Eastern, but the AFL as well. Well, that is just about it for us for this week. Plenty of ways you can keep in contact with us on Twitter, Facebook, and the NEAFL website, neafl.com.au. Aaron Bruce from the Eastlake Footy Club. How many goals are you going to kick this weekend, please?
1 1/4 will do for this weekend, I think. So, look, it's something that you don't focus too much on going into the game. So you just want to make sure the team gets up. So that's the main focus for this weekend. And if I can kick a few, then obviously that's a bonus. Brilliant.
You are doing very nicely. Thanks so much for joining us this week, and best of luck for this weekend against Ainsley and the rest of the year, mate.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Aaron Bruce from the Eastlake Footy Club. I'm Greg Thomson. Thanks for being with us. Our game of the round, that's an important one to mention as well, is Tuggeranong and Redland from Greenway, 11:45 on Saturday. Until then, it's bye for now.